Today, we're going to look at The Hobbit in a totally different way. Not just as this amazing adventure, but as a parable. A deep story about a really profound idea in Tolkien's world. That language isn't just for talking, it's for building reality itself, for defining what a hero is, and, well, for deciding the fate of Middle-earth. Okay, let's just dive right into this, because this one idea, it's the key to everything. I mean, it unlocks the entire moral journey of the whole story. Words aren't just sitting there on the page, they are active, they are creative forces, and that belief is the bedrock of the entire narrative we're about to explore. So, we'll break this parable down into 5 parts. We're going to see how 2 completely different languages, one of cold, predatory greed and another of quiet, radical mercy, are basically at war for the soul of the characters and the world they live in. All right, first up, we have to get our heads around the fundamental rule of this universe. In Middle-earth, words have this immense, almost physical power. They can shape everything from a hobbit's quiet character to the destiny of entire kingdoms. And you really have to get this. Nothing here is just a throwaway line. Every single word, every name, every riddle someone tells, and, yeah, as we're going to see, even silence itself. All of it carries enormous weight and has real consequences. This is the stage where a whole drama is going to play out. Now, let's turn to the dark side of this power. It's a language that's embodied by the ancient, terrifying dragon Smaug, and it's his corrupting, poisonous influence that just seeps into the very hearts of anyone who gets too close. It's so important to understand that this isn't just, being greedy. It's a genuine moral disease. Tolkien actually gives it a name, dragon sickness, to show us that it's a sickness of the soul. It completely twists your perception of what's valuable, infecting your vocabulary with words of ownership and hoarding. And this gets right to the heart of the conflict. On one side, you've got this dragon logic. It's all about manipulation, possession, and using words to start a war. But on the other side, fighting against it, is this quiet but incredibly powerful language of mercy and empathy, which is all about connection and, simple kindness. You see, Smaug doesn't just breathe fire. His words are weapons. He's this ancient, analytical creature with a terrifyingly sharp intellect. He listens with this flawless, cold reasoning, not to understand you, but to dismantle you. He takes Bilbo's clever little riddles, flips them inside out, and uses them like a prosecutor uses forensic evidence. His speech isn't a conversation, it's an act of predation. And this leads us to the artifacts that really drive the conflict. Things like the Arkenstone and later on the One Ring, they aren't just treasure. You should think of them more like moral tests. They act like giant amplifiers for that dragon sickness, forcing anyone who finds them to make a choice. Is it going to be hoarding and possession, or sharing and compassion? But fighting against this cold, predatory logic, a counter-language starts to emerge. And it comes from the most unlikely of places, from the most unlikely of heroes, and it completely redefines what it means to be powerful in this world. This is it. This is the moment. The moral trajectory of the entire novel, and you could even argue the entire history of Middle-earth, changes right here. The quest for gold suddenly takes a backseat to a journey of the soul, and it's all because of this one new powerful word. Now, here's the really fascinating part. The most powerful linguistic act in the whole story isn't spoken at all. It's silence. It's Bilbo's silent, empathetic understanding of another creature's pain. He doesn't say a word, he feels it. And in that feeling, he discovers a brand new kind of strength. This one single choice proves that in Middle-earth, real strength isn't found in a sword or a mountain of gold, but in the simple capacity for mercy. Bilbo shifts from the borrowed title of burglar to a true hero, not by stealing something, but by showing compassion. He proves he has a moral compass that's totally immune to the dragon sickness. But this incredible power of language, it can also have devastating unintended consequences. So now we get to the part where our hero is forced to grow up, and he has to do it fast. This whole sequence just shows the terrifying precision of that dragon logic we were talking about. Bilbo thinks he's being clever, with a riddle, a fun little play on words. But to Smaug, it's not a metaphor, it's evidence. He connects the dots with this chilling accuracy and turns Bilbo's witty title into a justification for mass destruction. The big takeaway here is a really hard lesson for Bilbo. His well-intentioned cleverness, his own words, literally set the world on fire. He realizes that mastering language also means mastering responsibility for its immense power. So, finally, we get to the culmination of this whole parable. This is where the true nature of treasure and the real meaning of heroism is fully and powerfully revealed. This timeline really tracks Bilbo's growth not just in courage, but in his actual language. He starts with this domestic vocabulary, the words of home and comfort, and he moves to a monumental one. His journey from burglar to hero is a journey of words, of understanding their power for good, for evil, and ultimately for mercy. And that brings us to the final moral test, and it's just perfectly contrasted here. Thorin, the one who was supposed to be king, tragically falls for the dragon's sickness. He becomes a victim of that cold, possessive logic. But Bilbo, armed with his new moral compass, he sees beyond the glitter and gold. He understands the real treasure was never the Arkenstone, it was mercy itself. So in the end, The Hobbit uses its own special vocabulary, words like dragon sickness and pity, to basically conduct a profound moral investigation. Through these ideas, Tolkien builds this incredible bridge from what seems like a simple adventure into an epic tragedy, all to celebrate the quiet, humble, and truly world-saving power of mercy. And that leaves us with one last thought, connecting Tolkien's brilliant parable directly to our own lives. If it's true that the words we use have the power to create our reality, to be a catalyst for war or a catalyst for growth, it kind of begs the question, doesn't it? What kind of world are we choosing to build every single day with our words?